explosive court filing, as it seems his past is about to come crashing down. With more skeletons,
Drake has been told to keep quiet and stay out of the spotlight in a fiery court filing, as it seems like his past is about to catch up with him. He might have more skeletons in his closet than anyone ever guessed. Now, Drake faces the real risk of his biggest secrets being exposed unless he steps back. In an explosive 81-page court document, he accused UMG of trying to destroy his career by using Kendrick's diss tracks to their advantage. But UMG fired back, saying Drake's struggles go way beyond just those tracks. They argue that Drake's real pain comes from the public embarrassment of losing a rap battle to Kendrick, with the whole world watching. But here's the twist: UMG claims they have proof that Drake used fake streams and bots to boost his music's popularity. Ironically, this is exactly what Drake himself accused Kendrick of doing. And it doesn't stop there. UMG says they've got solid evidence of Drake's questionable actions, from his alleged creepy behavior with young women to shady business deals. The plot thickens. Song It Appears Drake's antics may finally be catching up with him, and is doing everything in their power to get him to stop causing a stir, even if that means exposing his darkest secrets to the world. In a bombshell lawsuit, Drake sued Universal Music Group, accusing them of promoting Kendrick Lamar's track Not Like Us, which he claims fueled a malicious and false narrative about him. According to Drake, the situation took a dangerous turn when the viral success of Not Like Us led to attacks on him and his family. People allegedly began sneaking up to his house, harassing him and his employees. The first attack happened just a day after the track dropped on May 7th of last year. Drake's security guard was shot and rushed to the hospital for treatment. The very next day, May 8th, a trespasser managed to break into Drake's Toronto home by digging under his security fence. The intruder was reportedly yelling racist slurs and threats before being escorted off the property by Drake's security team, who thankfully stopped any physical harm. But it doesn't end there. Drake's lawsuit claims even darker details. Drake's lawsuit claims that Not Like Us was purposely designed to spread a false and harmful narrative, painting him as a criminal who deserved vigilante justice. According to Drake, the song's lyrics, album cover, and music video all contributed to this image, casting him as a criminal. The lyrics even referred to him as a certified PDF file and a predator, suggesting that the public should keep an eye on him. What's even more chilling is that the controversy surrounding Not Like Us allegedly fueled a campaign to further destroy Drake's reputation. Posters featuring his face and the term predator popping up all over Toronto. In his lawsuit, Drake accuses of being complicit in the smear campaign, claiming the label's actions were financially motivated, and its executives, Drake argues, wanted to increase sales by boosting Kendrick Lamar's visibility, especially after signing a major deal with the rapper. In Scope Recordings owns Kendrick Lamar's entire back catalog, and the more people who watched and shared the defamatory content, the more money made. The shocking question now is this the end of Drake's career, or just the beginning of a much darker story? Key points from Drake's lawsuit against UMG are laid out in paragraphs 51 to 53. In this section, Drake claims that Kendrick Lamar, back in 2022, signed a short-term deal with UMG. But part of the deal was that Kendrick wanted to see what UMG was really willing to do for him. He wanted to know if they could elevate him to the level of their biggest artist, Drake, and if they could make it happen in the same way. In case you weren't aware, both Drake and Kendrick Lamar are contracted to Universal Music Group. Drake is signed to the Republic Records division while Kendrick is under Interscope. However, the real bombshell is that Drake believes has been using him as a pawn in a ruthless game to undervalue his brand and force him into a bad contract. Here's where things get even murkier. Contract with Drake was nearing its expiration, and based on the facts at hand, they realized it would be expensive to renew. So their strategy. Drake believes UMG intentionally undervalued his music and brand, which gave them the leverage they needed to push him into signing a new deal on their terms, ultimately benefiting UMG. Let's rewind to 2022. That year, Drake signed one of the biggest deals UMG had ever made with an artist, a whopping $400 million contract that covered his recordings, publishing, merchandise, and visual media. But now, as that deal comes to an end, Drake is seeking more, something he feels he rightfully deserves, and honestly, he's more than earned it with his success. Since then, Drake's success has only grown. In 2022, he released Honestly, Nevermind, his 7th studio album, along with a collaborative project with 21 Savage. But Drake wasn't done. In 2023, he dropped All the Dogs, his 8th studio album, which followed their joint album Her Loss. Both projects were massive hits, filled with viral tracks, proving that Drake was still at the top of his game. Naturally, Drake is demanding a bigger payday for his next deal. There's no denying it, Drake is one of the most successful artists of our time. Time in terms of sales, so when the rumor mill started turning, it was reported that Drake wanted a staggering $600 million for his next contract. But here's the twist, wasn't prepared to meet that demand. Drake likely believed that his food with Kendrick would boost his bargaining power. If he won the beef, his brand value would skyrocket, making it easier to negotiate the deal he wanted. But instead, he lost the battle, with Kendrick humiliating him in the process. According to Drake, saw this as an opportunity to undercut him, and Drake didn't hesitate to seize the opportunity, but the lawsuit claims that UMG's actions went far beyond typical music industry tactics. According to the lawsuit, UMG reportedly unleashed every weapon in their arsenal, using insider knowledge and strategies to control the narrative. This is a fight Drake never saw coming, and the damage might be beyond repair. The lawsuit also reveals that UMG permitted content creators like Kai Cenat, Zoos, No Life Shack, and RDC Gaming to monetize their reactions to Not Like Us without enforcing copyright claims, fueling the controversy even further. The promotion of Kendrick Lamar's song at the time sparked a furious response from Drake. In the filing, Drake went after UMG, but Jay, representing the label, called his accusations offensive and false. This time, though, Drake hasn't backed down. He's doubled down with a lawsuit. UMG hasn't taken it lightly. Their response was swift and fierce, calling Drake's lawsuit illogical, making it clear they would stop at nothing to protect their reputation from his explosive claims. A spokesperson for UMG said that not only were these allegations false, but the idea that we would try to damage the reputation of any artist level and Drake is absolutely nonsensical. We have invested significantly in his music, and our teams worldwide have dedicated countless years to helping him achieve unprecedented commercial and personal success. According to Wang, Drake has used them for years to distribute his music and poetry, engaging in often ridiculous back and forth rap battles with other artists. But now they claim Drake wants to weaponize the legal system, styling artistic expression and demanding damages from UMG. The spokesperson continued, "We do not and have never engaged in defamation against any individual or artist in the distribution of their music. But we will actively fight this lawsuit to protect our people, our reputation, and the integrity of artists who might be directly or indirectly targeted by such a frivolous claim." As UMG battles Drake tooth and nail in court, it's clear they're not just protecting Kendrick Lamar, they're making it known that they won't allow Drake to use this lawsuit as a tool to take them down. Subtle personal grudges. Argument also suggests that Drake is set not just because he lost the rap battle, but because he's now facing the consequences of using these same controversial tactics for his own gain in the past. For example, when Drake's Scorpion album dropped in 2018, many Spotify users complained that the app was forcing his music on them. It seemed like every playlist featured his tracks, and some users even reported discovering songs they hadn't intentionally sought out. Eventually, Spotify had to. So here's the million-dollar question. If Drake has benefited from UMG's promotional strategies for years, why is he crying foul now? Some argue it's because those same strategies aren't working in his favor anymore. And perhaps more importantly, consumers started speaking out, with many demanding subscription refunds because they felt forced to listen to Drake against their will. It's a bold move, but from a legal perspective, it's an interesting strategy on Drake's part. A lot of people in the community are saying, this is not how you deal with hip-hop rap battle beef. You go in the studio, you lay down some tracks. This is not what Drake is doing. On legal grounds, I think he's on pretty shaky legal grounds. There's this concept of sort of informed consent. It's when you get into rap battles, you would expect that there's going to be some back and forth, and there is also First Amendment free speech rights implicated. But wait, things are about to get way stranger. Reports have surfaced recently, adding even more drama to Drake's already complicated world. It's been suggested that Drake and Lucian Grange, the CEO of UMG, share a unique relationship, if you catch my drift. These wild speculations gained traction after none other than Kanye West threw fuel on the fire, revealing that Drake might have a wealthy baby daddy, and that baby daddy is none other than Lucian Grange himself. Yes, you heard that right. Kanye dropped the bombshell, claiming that Drake and Grange's bond runs much deeper. This revelation sent shockwaves through the industry, leaving everyone wondering, is there more to this relationship than meets the eye? Could it explain the mysterious special treatment Drake has seemed to receive over the years? What does it mean for the ongoing battle between Drake and UMG, and more importantly, how much of this is actually true? The idea of Drake having a rich baby daddy, like Lucian Grange at UMG, is wild. Kanye's words almost paint it like Drake's been getting a certain level of protection, with people joking about him saying, "My daddy's got it, you know what I'm saying?" It adds a whole new layer to the situation. Lamar, according to Drake, the lyrics in those tracks were outrightly lawless, calling him a criminal and accusing him of being some sort of predator who should be under neighborhood watch. It doesn't stop there. Kendrick painted Drake as someone who's deeply problematic, even going so far as to refer to him as a PDF file, an unofficial and damning way to label someone in the music world. But here's where things get even more interesting. Kendrick wasn't the first to make these kinds of claims. Drake has long had a reputation for. This isn't just gossip. There have been numerous whispers in the industry about Drake's alleged creepy tendencies, particularly involving young women who are barely of legal age. To make matters worse, when South African artist Tyla rose to fame, she reportedly knew it was only a matter of time before Drake slid into her DMs. Why? Because, in her words, Drake has a well-known pattern of seeking out young stars, especially those who are just barely of age. He didn't hide his interest, which only added more fuel to the fire of the ongoing rumors surrounding him. That painted a shocking picture of Drake in some very questionable situations with girls who were far too young to be involved with him. But that's not even the worst part. Remember the viral interview with Millie Bobby Brown? It sent the internet into a frenzy when she revealed how she and Drake used to constantly text and stay in contact. They'd exchange messages saying things like, "I cherish you," which might seem innocent at first. But things took a twisted turn when Millie was pressed by the interviewer and let slip that Drake would talk about guys with her. Keep in mind, Millie was just a teenager at the time. Millie Bobby Brown was just 14 years old at the time, and this revelation sent shockwaves through the public, sparking widespread concern and raising serious questions about Drake's true intentions. During the interview, Millie shared how she met Drake in Australia, calling him fantastic and a great friend and role model. She also mentioned how they'd text each other, with messages like, "I miss you so much," to which she responded, "I miss you more." She even said she was excited to see him when he came to Atlanta. While it might seem innocent on the surface, the context and their age difference raised alarms, especially when you consider how young Millie was at the time. Advice does he give you? Like, what does he say about boys? He helps me. What? Yeah, he's great, he's wonderful, I love him. With boys, you know, that stays in the text messages. He was attempting to be best friends with Billie-ish in his DMS during the time of Billie's fame. Like, Drake, come on, Drake is like the nicest dude I've ever spoken to. I mean, I've only texted him, but he's so nice. Like, he does not need to be nice, you know what I mean? He's at a level in his life where being a role model to aspiring artists is one thing, but Drake's behavior seems to take it to another level entirely. Imagine speaking to young artists in their DMs, acting like you're their best friend and sharing personal moments like it's no big deal. But then there's the case of Uriah Smith, which is a whole other story. Drake reportedly dated Uriah when she was just beginning to get legal, only to later humiliate her in a diss track after she broke up with him at just 19. Uriah and Drake had a brief, intense affair, but it seems the relationship quickly turned sour. Drake was so taken with Uriah that within weeks of meeting, he had the number 11 tattooed in her honor right on his body. That number was for Uriah's birthday, June 11th. But when questioned about the tattoo, Uriah tried to downplay it, claiming that she wasn't as invested in him as he was in her. However, this isn't just a story about a celebrity crush, it's about how Drake left Uriah behind after the relationship ended, using it all for his own gain. How low will he go? Someone asked, what do you think? emotional interaction was between Drake and Georgia, I'd be like, he's definitely text her at 4 a.m. saying, I need you girl, has he never sent you that text at 4 a.m.? Oh man, I've got Drake all wrong. Your guys is not as emotional as everyone thinks. He's not, he's a tough guy. Ego took a hit, and naturally he ran straight to the studio to lash out. He called Yoria jaded and low down, throwing shade by saying, you're way too opinionated, I have to force it, fake it, it's clear. His hurt feelings likely pushed Drake to drop those lines, and let's be real, he wasn't in any rush when it came to the age difference. When he said, you're old enough now, Kendrick wasn't saying anything new. It's the same old talk that's been swirling around Drake for years. So why is Drake chasing this lawsuit? Simple, he's upset about losing that rap battle. But we all know the rumors about Drake's shady past with women, and it's hard to ignore them as the evidence keeps piling up.